It's not often that EU leaders get to meet up away from the doom and gloom of Brussels, but even here in picturesque Malta, they'll find very little to be cheerful about. The hosts are worried about more refugees and migrants arriving this spring. All this as Britain is heading for the EU exit door and the spectre of US President Donald Trump looms large. Now, Trump's immigration policies have been met with indignation in some European capitals. All this, however, as the EU is planning tougher policies of its own. Malta wants to prevent more arrivals coming from Libya, and according to a draft statement, leaders will consider sending people back there. The idea, ministers say, is to deter people making that dangerous journey in the first place. A hard task given the conflict and instability in North Africa and the Middle East. Regina Cantramboni is one of the co-founders of sea rescue NGO Migrant Offshore Aid Station. The organisation argues for safe, legal routes into Europe.
Mediterranean Sea for me has been always a place of holiday, relaxation. Instead, is becoming a tomb for many people that are fleeing war, persecution, in search of a better life. It's not just the person that is drowning out at sea. If we allow them to die, we are dying with them. Our humanity is dying with them.
UN figures show more than 1,700 people applied for asylum in Malta last year. The bulk of them come from Libya, Syria, Eritrea and Somalia. Refugee workers on the island argue the EU's plan to stem the flow of these migrants will fail.
The discussion that they're going to send people back to Libya, I think, is hypocritical, because the European Union cannot blame Trump on the one hand of building a physical wall between the USA and Mexico and building structural walls to keep young African peoples from coming to Europe to seek asylum. I find it very hypocritical and I find it very displaced.
Malta is the only EU member state with a resettlement programme to the US, or at least it was, until the stroke of a president's pen last week. The UN says 455 migrants left Malta for a new life across the Atlantic last year. But for Hossam, a carpenter from Damascus, his only goal is to return home. He says Trump's move to ban Syrian refugees goes against American values.
America is a country of freedom. Trump, with this step, has messed up everything. There are Christians in our country. There are Muslims in Trump's country. So what do we do now? Do we have to kick Americans out as well? This is not freedom. It's against the principles of freedom.
But with no end in sight to the Syrian conflict or the wider unrest across the region, it will take much more than yet another EU summit to bring Europe's migration crisis to an end. James Franey, Euronews, Malta.